Why, hello and welcome back. So recently I asked you guys on our Facebook group what you'd like to see next. The vote was unanimous. You guys wanted to learn how to do breaststroke. So here we are. By the way, if you're not part of our Facebook group, click the link down below and join our group. It's totally free and you can get some free feedback from all of us if you want to learn how to swim. First of all, let's get a few things clear about breaststroke. When you're new to swimming, you start off learning front crawl. Okay, we all do. And you probably know it, right? You start pulling with the arms, you breathe down, and you have to learn how to breathe to the side. And then after you get comfortable doing front crawl, the next step is to learn how to do breaststroke. So, first of all, try not to mix front crawl and breaststroke into the same category. They are totally different categories. Front crawl is like pop music, and breaststroke is like jazz. Totally different genre, okay? And you can't mix them together, all right? So I'll explain why. Front crawl is very straightforward, okay? You just pull and you breathe to the side, you pull and you breathe to the side and you kick. That's it. Whereas breaststroke, your movements are not really ABC 1, 2, 3. When you do front crawl, you're moving really fast. It's kind of like jogging. I would say breaststroke is like the equivalent of walking. You have jogging with the front crawl, and you've got walking with the breaststroke. You can't put them in the same category. My advice to you is that once you learn how to do front crawl, that's great. Keep doing it. But ever so often, just like when you're jogging outside, you're jogging on a treadmill, you're gonna have to take a break. You need a breather. You're gonna need to take a walk. So that's why I recommend you start applying breaststroke in those intervals when you need a breather, you need to catch a breath. Second of all, breaststroke is not really used for speed, it's used for sight. Breaststroke is usually used for like rescue missions, okay? When you're in a situation, say you're out in the water, in the open sea, you have no goggles on, you have no visibility, and you need to see where you're going because the water is just so pitch black, the ocean water itself. You can't put your eyes in there because it's salt. What do? You need to keep your head up most of the time. You need to see where you're going. Whereas front crawl, your head is always down and it's looking to the side. It's turning like this all the time. As you can see, if I'm plowing away with my arms, doing front crawl like this, it's all speed, but I can't see where I'm going. And when I do head up front crawl, my body starts turning from this to this, right? 45-degree angle. And this is the position that we want when we're doing our breaststroke. When we do our breaststroke, we want 45 degrees like this every time. Front crawl is like this usually, turning our heads side to side. Breaststroke, we want to be looking like this. Glide, and we come up for breath. Glide, come up for breath. Glide, come up for breath. So you notice that if we do this consecutively in the water like this really slows us down. We can't really gain a lot of speed if we're constantly doing this. Try doing this with your speedboat, okay? Go like this and then crank it up 45 degrees, the nose up. And you notice those competitive swimmers, they try to really crank it hard so they can get that speed. But that's not the purpose of breaststroke. The purpose of breaststroke is for sight. So you can rescue someone, so you can see where you're going. And to compensate that, you lose a lot of speed. Here's the thing. If you want to do breaststroke in your local pool and you're swimming laps with other people, make sure that you're doing it in a slow lane, okay? Never do breaststroke in a fast lane because those fast lane swimmers, 9 times out of 10, they're doing front crawl. And it's very hard to compete with front crawlers when you're doing breaststroke. It's like walkers competing with runners, okay? So just keep that in mind before you try to do any of this exercise, okay? So let's get into the actual breaststroke exercise. You're gonna have to learn is the whip kick. This is the whole foundation. This is the propeller of your engine as you're doing breaststroke. When you're doing front crawl, it's your arms when you're pulling. When you're doing breaststroke, it's your legs that do all the propulsion, most of the work, not your arms. A lot of people have a misinformation about this. You should be really focusing on your whip kick first. This is what's gonna propel you forward. So what I'm doing right now is just whip kick exercises. So what I'm doing is I'm in shallow water right now. I'm putting the bulk of my upper body onto these steps like this, okay? And every pool has it. So just find the steps like this and just place your forearms here and just lean forward. Lean your body weight forward. And when you lean your body weight forward like this, then your lower body will naturally rise if you're doing it properly. This is the first thing you need to do. Second thing you need to do is practice your whip kick. Not frog kick, whip kick. Okay? And I made a video before about frog kicks versus whip kicks. So check that out. So I'm keeping my knees together. Knees close together. Alright? So I don't want my knees like wide like sumo squats, like you see in the gym. Knees together. And then what I do is I'm propelling. 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 Okay? Do you need to make sound when you do whip kick? No, not really. It's not like flutter kick. This is flutter kick. Okay? Ever so often you need to create white water when you're flutter kicking. But when you're whip kicking, it's a whole nother story. You need to keep your legs underneath the water surface in order to get a good propulsion. Okay? Hear that sound? It's like a sound of like a sea lion going under. Yeah, that's a good indicator. It's a good indicator that your whip kick's not too low. So, again, practice that first. And if you don't understand the concept fully, you sit on the steps. Sit on the steps like this. And do the reverse, okay? The reverse is basically me sitting down on the ledge like this. Legs out, okay? So this is the reverse, okay? So I want to make sure that my knees don't split apart like a sumo, okay? This is an indicator of you doing frog kick. This is an indicator of you doing whip kick. Frog kick, whip kick. The difference is, when you do whip kick properly, your kneecaps don't go beyond your hips like this, okay? Never do this, always do this. And then you notice that my legs try to create a giant circle or ball. Okay? And you see that propulsion of water that forms here? That propulsion is going to push me in the opposite direction like that. Okay? So you see that? That collision of water that I'm creating is going to look like that. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And that's whip kick in a nutshell. You just make a giant ball or circle with your legs. And you notice that this part of your feet, this part here and this part, is the surface of your paddle, okay? This is what's going to bring the water here in the middle. This part of your leg and this part. Okay? So practice this. Practice this. And practice this. Okay? This exercise that I'm doing is more important than the one sitting on the ledge, okay? For you newbies, sitting on the ledge is the first exercise. But this is the real deal right here. If you have a friend, if you have a partner, make sure that person is spotting you. Ask that person to check your knees, okay? See if they're close to your hips as you perform the whip kick. Make sure your partner checks your kneecaps. See that they're not splitting too far apart like sumos, okay? And yeah, spot, okay? So for example, this is bad, 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 good, 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 good. You're gonna feel like a burst of energy, boom, 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 every time you do the whip kick. Correct. Join our Facebook group, click the link down below if you want to learn how to swim. If you want a swimming course to stop swimming that shitty breaststroke of yours like you see out there, sign up for my swimming course, 7dayswim.co. It shows you the exact game plan that you need to learn from A to Z how to swim properly. If you don't need to learn how to swim, then give that course to someone who you think needs to learn how to swim or can benefit from swimming better. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, hit that like button if you find this video helpful, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye!